Hey everybody, Chuck G Violin back with you with episode 5 of Build a Golf Course from Scratch. And in today's video, we are going to work with some very fun things, and that is terrain painting and surface weathering. And these are a lot of fun to work with, but they're also functional. You can not only just make your golf course prettier, but you can add playable textures around your golf course and other fun things that you're going to see in this video and in the next one. So let's quickly review what we've done so far in the first 4 episodes. Here's our golf course. We started up a plot with our golf course. We laid down all of these holes and we made them differing pars and differing lengths, and we made sure that holes are very long holes go in opposite directions, so they're not always with or against the wind. We then put down some mulch where our water's going to go. Then we went ahead and drew our first hole. We drew our fairway, we drew our greens, some bunkers, and the tees. After which, we worked on sculpting said bunkers and said fairway, and then said green, and of course, said tees. I put this over here. You're going to see why in a minute. Okay, so terrain painting. We're going to start with that. Now, things look a little different on our tutorial golf course because I changed the theme. We originally had the new theme, the temperate theme on here, but we don't anymore. The reason we changed the theme is because the temperate theme doesn't show the surface weathering the same way as the other themes. So that's really cool. I don't know if that's a glitch or if it's just the way that theme works, but this is what we got. So terrain painting. Terrain painting is a way of kind of blending your regular heavy rough into something like dirt or sand. Eventually you could use it for things like pine straw and other goodies. So everything is going to be found down here in your Create Surfaces menu. And you scroll all the way down. I usually scroll up, but here's terrain painting and surface weathering at the bottom. Terrain painting. Now you've got these options here. We're going to take them a little bit out of order, and we're going to start with sand. Now, you get to choose what texture you want this to look like. So here's the theme default. Okay, which is kind of more of a dirt texture. But if you scroll over, you've got these sandy textures. And let's choose this one just for fun. So we've got sand. Now, you can do this with a spline. I've never done this before, but let's try it. Boom. Now you've got this crazy sand. And you've also got this this is going to be your... if you went to terrain painting and chose topsoil, this green stuff is what you're going to get. So that looks, lame, but I just wanted to show you that you could actually do that with a spline. I don't use the splines for these things, not yet anyway. So let's look at topsoil A, sand. This is a great one for making sand dunes. Let's say you wanted to make this like a sandy kind of a dune on an oceanside golf course, a la, like a Kiowa Island or, something like that. So I would go to brush. I would then choose maybe this one. I mean, you could really choose anything you want. So if you do this, remember how we talked about elevation and how everything inside is going to be, kind of the same, whereas the outer areas out here are going to get the work, so to speak. Here it's kind of opposite. Everything inside is going to be solid, whatever you choose for your texture. So if I did this at 100% right here. Oh, it's not working. Come on. Okay, subsoil brush. There. If I did this just like it is, everything in here is going to be sand with just a Scotia blending on the outside. I don't love that. So what I would do is I would choose a fuzzier tool. Let's see what this does. So now you've got just a little bit of sand in the middle and more of the blending outside. And that's pretty cool. So the other thing I would do is I'd go in here and I would turn using the bumper buttons, buggy bumper buttons. I would turn this down, and then I'm going to paint this area as such. And I didn't get any sand, so let's move it up. And there I got some sand, but mostly ground cover. All right, so that's how kind of that's going to work. If I were going to make a dune like this, what I would do is I would use maybe, let's try this one. And we're going to bump up the intensity and just kind of put it around there. This looks okay. But then what I would do is you want to blend it out into your grassy area. So I would take the brush down a bit and then move it down to like a different texture. So now you don't have hardly any sand. Okay, and that's how I would do this. This is not a great example. It doesn't look great. Let's try something. Let's say you want a tree-lined fairway. All right, so instead of sand, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do dirt. And let's see what we have for our dirt brush. Oh, I messed with it a little bit. There's our theme default. Let's choose that one. Oops, let's choose our brush tool, and let's just make a whole bunch of dirt. Yeah, dirt. Okay, so now we have a whole lot of dirt. It's almost like rocky dirt, but that's, you know, the default for this theme, which is countryside. But you've got a little blending out here. Now, I don't love this topsoil. This is topsoil, so like grass, topsoil, natural area. So maybe I'm going to change that. I'm going to go here, and let's change that to dirt. Now you have this. That looks terrible because it screwed up my whole golf course. So let's go to maybe this. Ooh, that's so much better. Okay, so we're going to keep it at that. Now I'm going to get rid of, oops, hold on. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to go back, change this to, I said natural area, right? Cool. Here we go. Let's make an area where there's going to be trees. So we're going to leave this at intensity 100, and let's pretend this is kind of our tree line here. All right, that's okay, but that, you know, that's straight up dirt. That's maybe a little close over there. Let's do something like this. All right, so that's where there are going to be trees. Now you want to blend that out. I want to move this down and just kind of go like this around the outside. And that still gives us pretty intense dirt, so let's do this. Yeah, so now this kind of blends it a little bit more. You get a little grass, a little dirt, you know. And then we could even do something a little fuzzier and really move this down. Something like that. All right, that looks a lot better. So there looks to be like kind of a natural transition from where you're going to put trees and where there is dirt to where there is regular rough. And that's cool. So that's kind of your dirt. Let's see, what did I say? Let's do topsoil now. Topsoil brush is a little, oh no, that's the one we're using. We didn't use dirt. I thought we used dirt. Let's go back to dirt. Dirt. There's our dirt. So let's get rid of all of that. I kind of like that, actually, better than I like the dirt. But, and we'll kind of do this. Ta-da. We're going to go over it one more time to fill in those gaps. Now we have dirt, right, where the trees are going to be. But you can see it adds the topsoil out here. So you can then blend it more by doing this and turning the intensity down. You might still get a little dirt, but you're more likely to just get topsoil. Okay, so these are fun because you just experiment. You know, you can make all kinds of crazy, weird things. So rock is a lot of fun because you can create rock. This is straight up, yeah, rock. That looks cool as hell. We can mess around with our rock texture. Let's see what this crazy one looks like. That looks really nifty. There's a lot of other ones in here. That one looks very, very good. Then what you can do is go to landscaping tools, and we're going to find a brush with the sharp edges like this one, and boom. And then we'll kind of go like this, and boom. Now it looks like you got rocks. I mean, that's obviously would need some work. That looks like those bunker shapes do. You can kind of do this, and smooth that out, smooth some of that out. And now it looks like you've kind of got rocks. You don't have to put down rock objects and use up your precious meter. All right, so let's say you hate it. You go over here to your cursor one at the very beginning of the menu, click the left stick, and you can do one of the following. You can select and check off these ones, or you could go up here to Area Select and just select all of it. Then you hit the back button, go to Selected Items, Delete. They gone, except for the crazy elevation we made. Let's fix that real quick. La 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 la. Ta-da. Okay, so those are your basics of terrain painting and how you can use it. There are so many uses. The cool thing about it is if I put sand, nope, not that one, sand, like so, this plays as sand. If you hit it in there, you're going to have to hit a splash to get out of there. So it actually plays like sand. Dirt plays like dirt. Rock plays like rock. So I love that about the terrain painting is that you can play. They turn into playable textures. It's not just a make your golf course pretty thing. It's you actually get playable textures out of it. Now let's talk about another favorite of mine. I love this one. This is going to be our surface weathering, found right underneath your terrain painting in that same menu. And what this is used for is, same rules apply. You're going to get maximum surface weathering in the area here. Okay, that's a little bit drastic for what I want, but I wanted to just show you. So I like to use kind of this one, and see this top of this hill, we're going to weather that down a little bit. I'm going to turn this down to maybe like 70. Okay, and just going to do something like that, and then we need to blend it out. So we're going to turn it down a little more, and just around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. And now you've got, maybe turn it down a little more and add some more in here just to blend it into the grass as such. And now you've got an area that looks like it's all dried out. Why did I choose this area to put the actual weathering? Well, I chose it because it's a high point with drastic elevation around it. So imagine if you watered this mound, where's the water going to go? The water's all going to come down here. It's not going to stay up on top. Therefore, the top is going to tend to not get as much water as the rest. So that's how I judge where to do my terrain painting. I'm sorry, that's where I choose how to do my surface weathering. So likewise, in the fairway, like this mound right here, could use some. I don't like to use 100, especially in the fairway. So we'll do something like that. That looks pretty good. Could use maybe a little more. And then make the thing a little smaller. We're going to take this down. I usually try to take it down by half of what I did. And then take this down more and spread it into the fairway. It's hardly perceptible, but trust me, it's there. And now this area shows the wear of not getting as much water. All right, you'd want to maybe do the same thing over here. Turn this down. I like to usually be around 50 if I'm in a fairway, because that's how much brown you get, and that's kind of a lot. I mean, it depends on you. I mean, it's your golf course, so how much of this weathering you want is totally up to you. I'm just showing you that maybe you shouldn't just randomly grab a brush and just start making areas of your fairway brown, okay? Because, you know, obviously that looks terrible. Where else could use some weathering? How about around the bunkers? Like this one. Look, there's already some there because I think I put some there before. Okay, we don't want to do too much. But like this area right around the outside of the bunker is not going to get a lot of water. Let's make this smaller and kind of do that and blend it. Ta-da. Okay, maybe a little over here. So you want to do around the bunkers. Like these bunkers are great because like this mound right here is hardly going to get any water. So that's going to wind up being very brown in the summer when it doesn't rain. You know, again, depends on the golf course. Maybe you're making a golf course in Florida where in the summer it rains every day at 4 o'clock and you can set your watch by it. So, you know, it's up to you how you want to do that and how you want to decorate your golf course. You want to do it based on where it is. Here's some more areas in the fairway that could use some. Turn that down a little bit. Put some over here. And we'll blend it out as so. You know, these are very small grades of blended, you know, brown into green, and that's what you need to do. It's, you know, you need to be a little bit of an artist here and just kind of use your eye and see how that works. On the green, you're going to want some weathering on the green as well. I like to choose, like, see the ridge line here on this plateau? That would definitely be a slightly different color. And we'll just do that. That looks terrible, so what we got to do is blend it. That all looks terrible. Let's fix that. So let's just do a little bit at a time. Let's do from here. You know, you want to be very kind of, you know, tactically put this stuff on your green. You don't want to just splotch the hell out of it. Maybe a little bit more up here. You know, the other cool thing about the weathering is it can kind of indicate to players where is the biggest bunch of elevation. So like here, I went to a different brush, I realize. You know, this would definitely get some. Like right here. Okay, so, you know, this is, a lot of it is subjective. A lot of it is about like, okay, what's going to look cool? You know, what's going to look cool, but at the same time, it's got to kind of be functional. You got to not just put down random splotches of terrain painting where I must have done some weird elevation work over there. So let's actually make that look cool. So we're going to go like this. You know, it's not just about putting a lot of brown on your golf course to make it seemingly look more realistic. You know, but that looks like an area that, I don't know, animals trampled it or something. I don't know. People walked on it. Speaking of people walking on it, tee boxes need weathering as well. Here's some left over from a little experiment I was doing. So, like, look at these mounds here next to this tee box. They would definitely get some brownage. And as always, just blend it right in. Tee boxes probably and greens probably get the most water on a golf course because they want them to look nice, but that's a little, I don't love it. But that's the beauty of the undo button. Just use that, that's a little better, to make things look like that. I put this little bench and things over here, and look, I weathered the ground underneath it because guess what? A lot of players walk over here. So that area is going to all be kind of brown. Speaking of walking, how about we make a little, like, you know, poor man's cart path here. You don't need a big, huge number, but just hold that A button down and drag slowly up here. Boom, we've got a cart path. Not a cart path, but a walking path. This is where dudes walk. Okay, it doesn't have to be very much. You used to be able to do this in 2K23, but it was a real pain in the ass. So, but look, guys are walking off the tee box here. It's weathered there. You know, ooh, what about like, you know, the forward tees? People be walking up there. Get a little of that. Maybe up here, like so. Maybe they walk here. That didn't look so good. Maybe they walk here. Oops. But maybe they walk all the way from there. I went a little too fast, but that's okay. Kind of all the way like that. And you can create some really cool looking paths and things on your golf course that we never could do before. So this is a little shorter video, but it's important to know how to use these tools. Just like everything else, know the tools of the designer. Oops. But use them, judiciously so that it looks real. Shoot, you want your whole fairway to be brown, knock yourself out. But that doesn't look natural, really. I mean, it actually looks okay, natural-wise, but no, don't do that. Okay? It just depends on you and what you want your golf course to look like. In the end, we want our golf course to look like a pretty normal golf course that gets a good amount of water. But maybe there's a few spots that are a little worn out. The drier, more arid your golf course is going to be, then maybe more weathering is in order, or the more Augusta-like in terms of just lush green everywhere, then maybe less, maybe none. It's totally up to you. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got some value out of how to use these tools. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I usually respond to comments, so go ahead and do that. Part 6 is going to have a little bit to do with our weathering that we did here. Part 6 is going to talk about planting and the effects on certain types of grasses when you plant them in weathering. Spoiler alert, they turn different colors. So cool. All right, and then also other just kind of basic principles of planting. So I hope you enjoyed this. I know I said that already, but I'm sorry. It's how I wrap things up. I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. I'm out.